My name is Diane Gennard, and today I'm going to read you a book called Gustavo the Shy Ghost. It's written by Flavia Drago. Gustavo was a ghost. He enjoyed doing the normal things that paranormal beings do, passing through walls, making objects fly, and glowing in the dark. But there was nothing in the world that he loved more than playing the violin. Well, almost nothing. Gustavo was secretly in love with Alma, the prettiest monster in town, but he also had a problem. You see, Gustavo was so shy that some things felt incredibly difficult for him. And the worst part of it? Making friends was terrifying. Gustavo had never dared to speak to any of the other monsters. He tried getting close to them in many different ways. But even when he was right in front of them, they just couldn't see him. Gustavo longed to be part of something. More than anything, he wanted a friend. I have to be brave. I have to let the others see me, he thought. So he decided to send a letter, a very special one. Dear Monsters, I would like to invite you to my violin concert, which will take place at the Day of the Dead party next full moon at the cemetery. I would be thrilled to see you there. Signed, Gustavo the Ghost. As the days went by, Gustavo couldn't stop thinking, what if no one shows up? What if they don't like my music? What if they don't like me? Except tonight was the night, and this time he couldn't hide. But not a soul had come. So, all alone, Gustavo did what he loved the most. And the music made him happy. So happy that he glowed. Oh, how he glowed. Gustavo! We're so sorry we're late. We wanted to get you flowers, but we got lost instead. Then we heard your music, and we saw your glow. We really loved your concert. Would you like to hang out with us? From that moment on, Gustavo's life changed, and everyone discovered that even if he didn't talk much, he was the best at helping and protecting his friends. But mostly, Gustavo never stopped surprising them. And they never stopped loving him. The end of our book. Hi, my name is Diane Gennard, and today I'm going to read to you May I Bring a Friend by Beatrice Schenk de Reniers, and it's illustrated, that means the pictures, are drawn by Benny Montresor. Here's the book. You might notice that this is a rhyming book. The king and queen invited me to come to their house for Sunday tea. I told the Queen, and the Queen told the King, I had a friend I wanted to bring. The King told the Queen, my dear, any friend of our friend is welcome here. So I brought my friend. The King said, hello. He said, how do you do? The Queen said, well, fancy meeting you. My friend sat down right next to me, and then everyone had a cup of tea. The King and Queen said, we are having a stew on Monday for dinner, and we want you to come. I told the Queen, and the Queen told the King, I had a friend I wanted to bring. The King told the Queen, my dear, any friend of our friend is welcome here. So I brought my friend. My friend sat down next to the King, and when dinner was over, there wasn't a thing left to eat. The King and the Queen sent me a card. Come for lunch on Tuesday. Please try hard to come. So I sent a card. Dear Queen and King, I have a friend I want to bring. The King and the Queen sent me a letter. They said, the more friends you bring, the better. So I brought more friends. The King said, hello. The Queen gave me a kiss and said, what monkey business is this? Can you count all the monkeys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and one over here hiding 12. 12 monkeys. They hung from the roof, they sat on the floor, they ate and they ate till there wasn't any more to eat. The King and the Queen sent a man with a horn to ask me to come on Wednesday morn for breakfast. I told the man to tell the King I had a friend I'd like to bring. The King told the man, please tell my dear friend that his friend is welcome here. So I brought my friend. The King said, hello. The Queen said with a frown, I don't know where your friend can sit down. So we sat on my friend. Please, said the King, and please, said the Queen, come on Thursday for Halloween. And we want you to know, said the Queen and the King, you can bring any friends you would like to bring. So I came and I brought my friends. Hello, said the King and the Queen. Now who can this be? Then the lions roared, and they knew I was me. The Queen said to me, do come on a Friday. Yes, said the King, it is apple pie day. I said to the Queen, will you tell the King I have a friend I want to bring? The Queen told the King, who said, my dear, any friend of our friend is welcome here. So I brought my friend. The King said, hello. The Queen said, whee! Let's hear you play. Oh, say, can you see? My friend played a song called Long Live Apple Pie. Then the King played a while, and so did I. The King and the Queen invited me to come on Saturday for tea. No, no, my friends want you instead to come and visit them, I said. So that is why the king and queen and I and all my friends were seen on Saturday at 2:30 having tea at the city zoo. The end. Hi, this is Diane Gennard again, and I am reading a very little book called Just for You by Mercer Mayer, one of my family's favorite authors. This morning, I wanted to make breakfast just for you, but the eggs were too slippery. I wanted to wash the floor just for you, but the soap was too bubbly. I wanted to put away the dishes just for you, but the floor was too wet. I wanted to carry the groceries just for you, but the bag broke. I ate my sandwich just for you, but not the crusts. I picked an apple just for you, but on the way home, I got hungry. I wanted to set the table just for you, but the TV was too loud. I wanted to not splash in my bath just for you, but there was a storm. I wanted to do something special just for you. And I did it. The end.
Hi, my name is Diane Dowd, and today I'd like to share with you one of my all-time favorite characters, Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia was written by Peggy Parish in 1963, almost 60 years ago. Peggy Parish was a third-grade teacher, and she realized that if she could enthuse her students with fun, funny characters, that they were more apt to want to read and become better readers. So she invented Amelia Bedelia. Now, Amelia Bedelia was the kind of person who, if you asked her to do something, she would do exactly what you said, and that may not be exactly what you meant for her to do. For instance, if you said, Amelia Bedelia, please ice that cake. Now, we know ice the cake means put frosting on it. Amelia Bedelia would say, ice the cake? That's silly, but that's what they want. And she would put ice on the cake. So that gives you an idea of what this is going to be about. Amelia Bedelia. Oh, Amelia Bedelia, your first day of work. And I can't be here, but I made a list for you. You do just what the list says, said Mrs. Rogers. Mrs. Rogers got into the car with Mr. Rogers. They drove away. My, what nice folks. I'm going to like working here, said Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia went inside. Such a grand house. These must be rich folks, but I must get to work. Here I stand just looking, and me with a whole list of things to do. Amelia Bedelia stood there a minute longer. I think I'll make a surprise for them. I'll make a lemon meringue pie. I do make good pies. So Amelia Bedelia went into the kitchen. She put a little of this and a pinch of that into a bowl. She mixed and she rolled. Soon her pie was ready to go into the oven. "There," said Amelia Bedelia. "That's done." Now, let's see what this list says. Amelia Bedelia read, "Change the towels in the green bathroom." Amelia Bedelia found the green bathroom. "Those towels are very nice. Why change them?" she thought. Then Amelia Bedelia remembered what Mrs. Rogers had said. She must do just what the list told her. "Well, all right," said Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia got some scissors. She snipped a little here and a little there, and she changed those towels. "There," said Amelia Bedelia. She looked at her list again. "Dust the furniture." Did you ever hear tell of such a silly thing? At my house, we undust the furniture. But to each his own way. Amelia Bedelia took one last look at the bathroom. She saw a big box with the words "dusting powder" on it. "Well, look at that! A special powder to dust with!" exclaimed Amelia Bedelia. So, Amelia Bedelia dusted the furniture. That should be dusty enough. My, how nice it smells. "Draw the drapes when the sun comes in," read Amelia Bedelia. She looked up. The sun was coming in. Amelia Bedelia looked at the list again. "Draw the drapes?" That's what it says. I'm not much of a hand at drawing, but I'll try. So Amelia Bedelia sat right down and she drew those drapes. Amelia Bedelia marked off about the drapes. Now what? Put the lights out when you finish in the living room. Amelia Bedelia thought about this a minute. She switched off the lights, then she carefully unscrewed each bulb. And Amelia Bedelia put the lights out. So, those things need to be aired out too, just like pillows and babies. Oh, I do have a lot to learn. "My pie!" exclaimed Amelia Bedelia. She hurried to the kitchen. "Just right," she said. She took the pie out of the oven and put it on the table to cool. Then she looked at the list. "Measure 2 cups of rice." "That's next," said Amelia Bedelia. She found 2 cups. She filled them with rice. And Amelia Bedelia measured that rice. Amelia Bedelia laughed. "These folks do want me to do funny things." Then she poured the rice back into the container. "The meat market will deliver a steak and a chicken. Please trim the fat before you put the steak in the icebox. And please dress the chicken." When the meat arrived, Amelia Bedelia opened the bag. She looked at the steak for a long time. "Yes," she said, "that will do nicely." Amelia Bedelia got some lace and bits of ribbon. Amelia Bedelia trimmed that fat before she put the steak in the icebox. "Now I must dress the chicken. I wonder if she wants a he chicken or a she chicken," said Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia went right to work. Soon the chicken was finished. Amelia Bedelia heard the door open. "The folks are back," she said. She rushed out to meet them. "Amelia Bedelia, why are all the light bulbs outside?" asked Mr. Rogers. "The list just said to put the lights out," said Amelia Bedelia. "It didn't say to bring them back in. Oh, I do hope they didn't get aired too long." "Amelia Bedelia, the sun will fade the furniture. I asked you to draw the drapes," said Mrs. Rogers. I did, see?" said Amelia Bedelia, and she held up her picture. Then Mrs. Rogers saw the furniture. "The furniture!" she cried. "Did I dust it well enough?" said Amelia Bedelia. "That's such nice dusting powder." Mr. Rogers went to wash his hands. "I say," he called, "these are very unusual towels." Mrs. Rogers dashed into the bathroom. "Oh, my best towels," she said. "Didn't I change them enough?" asked Amelia Bedelia. Mrs. Rogers went to the kitchen. "I'll cook the dinner. Where is the rice I asked you to measure?" "I put it back in the container, but I remember it measured 4.5 inches, said Amelia Bedelia. "Was the meat delivered?" asked Mrs. Rogers. "Oh, yes," said Amelia Bedelia. "I trimmed the fat just like you said. It does look nice." Mrs. Rogers rushed to the icebox. She opened it. "Lace! Ribbons! Oh, dear!" said Mrs. Rogers. "The chicken! You dressed the chicken?" asked Mrs. Rogers. "Yes, and I found the nicest box to put him in," said Amelia Bedelia. "Box?" exclaimed Mrs. Rogers. Mrs. Rogers hurried over to the box. She lifted the lid. There lay the chicken, and he was just as dressed as he could be. Mrs. Rogers was very angry. She was very angry. She opened her mouth. Mrs. Rogers meant to tell Miss Amelia Bedelia she was fired. But before she could get the words out, Mr. Rogers put something in her mouth. It was so good, Mrs. Rogers forgot about being angry. "Lemon meringue pie!" she exclaimed. "I made it to surprise you," said Amelia Bedelia happily. So right then and there, Mr. and Mrs. Rogers decided that Amelia Bedelia must stay. And so she did. Mrs. Rogers learned to say, "Undust the furniture, unlight the lights, close the drapes," and things like that. Mr. Rogers didn't care if Amelia Bedelia trimmed all of his steaks with lace. All he cared about was having her there to make lemon meringue pie. The end. I'd like to read you a story called Grumpy Monkey, written by Suzanne Lang and illustrated by Max Lang. Now, I love this character, Grumpy Monkey, because he wakes up grumpy one day, and he's not quite sure why he's grumpy. And all of his friends can't understand why he's grumpy, because it's such a beautiful day. But it kind of reminds me that we all have those kind of days. Every now and then we wake up in a grumpy mood and we're not quite sure why we're grumpy. But thankfully we have friends that kind of help us get through it. So this is Grumpy Monkey, and this book was written in 2018. One wonderful day, Jim Pansy woke to discover that nothing was right. The sun was too bright, the sky was too blue, and the bananas were too sweet. Jim was confused. What's going on? Maybe you're grumpy, suggested Norman from next door. I'm not grumpy, Jim insisted. On his walk, he met Marabou. Jim's grumpy, Norman told Marabou. Why are you grumpy, Jim? Asked Marabou. It's such a wonderful day. Grumpy? Me? I'm not grumpy, said Jim. But look at how you're standing, Marabou said. It's true, said Norman. You're all hunched. So Jim loosened up. Then he ran into Lemur. Jim's grumpy, Norman told Lemur. Why are you grumpy, Jim? Asked Lemur. It's such a wonderful day. Grumpy? Me? I'm not grumpy, said Jim. Your eyebrows look grumpy, said Lemur. It's true, said Norman. They're all bunched up. So Jim raised his brow. Then he tripped over Snake. "Oh, no," said Norman. "That's the last thing you need when you're feeling so grumpy." "Grumpy? Me? I'm not grumpy," said Jim. "Then why that frown?" said Snake. "I think it's because he tripped over you," Norman whispered to Snake. So Jim put on a smile. Finally, Jim looked happy, but he didn't feel happy inside. Everyone wanted Jim to enjoy this wonderful day. "You should sing with us," said the birds. Jim didn't feel like singing. "You should swing with us," said the monkeys. Jim didn't feel like swinging. "You should roll with us," said the zebras. Jim didn't feel like rolling. "You should stroll with us," said the peacocks. Jim didn't feel like strolling. "You should lie in the grass. You should stomp your feet. You should take a bath and make a splash. You should hug someone. You should laugh. You should take a nap. You should eat old meat or some honey. You should jump up and down. You should sit in the sun. You should dance." But Jim didn't feel like doing any of that. "Why are you grumpy?" Jim asked the others. "It's such a wonderful day." "I'm not grumpy!" shouted Jim as he beat his chest. And he stormed off. Jim felt sorry. A little sorry for shouting at everyone, but mostly sorry for himself. "I guess I am grumpy," Jim sighed. And just as he was starting to feel really sad, he came upon Norman. Norman was slumped. His eyebrows were bunched up, and he was frowning. "What's the matter? Are you grumpy?" asked Jim. "No, I danced with Porcupine," said Norman. "Are you okay?" asked Jim. "It hurts, but I'll probably feel better soon enough," said Norman. "Are you still grumpy?" "Yes," said Jim, "but I'll probably feel better soon enough too. For now, I need to be grumpy." "It's a wonderful day to be grumpy," said Norman. Jim agreed, and he already felt a little bit better. The end.
Thank you for watching Lunenburg Storytime, the books we love. If you'd like to get involved and become a reader, we'd love to have you come into our studio and read a book that you love. Our contact information is lunenburgaccess@gmail.com. So send us an email today and let us know if you'd like to become a reader. Thank you.